that's going to turn into. Some of you I've met in very unusual ways. I can think of, where's Seb?
Like
Seb.
me,
Like Seb. Like Seb, she was working at the local CVS, and we just started talking.
Even though David and I went to Brookline High, right?
But I didn't, you didn't know each other, is my understanding. And now she's part of our family. So, and there's other people. Tatiana's here. She was a waitress at a local restaurant. Tatiana. I'm talking about, she's a waitress at a local restaurant I used to go to on a periodic basis, and she's now a dear friend. And I could go around the room, but we don't have time to do that. But, so even for those of you I met for the first time tonight, we don't know when we're going to meet again and how that's going to go. Maybe we will never see each other again, or maybe we'll be good friends or something in between. But that's one thing I've learned about life. You don't know when something, at the beginning you meet somebody, what they're going to mean to you. Or maybe you'll meet them and then 20 years later you meet them again in a new context. And so the meeting of people is important. I want to start with, so thank you for being here. I only turned 70 once, but I promise you I'm going to invite you back for my 140th. So, there we go! So you got that invitation. I'll let you know the day. And I wanted to start with just get sort of a logistical thing out of the way. If you are interested in my musical playlist for this past year, then you can, after this, go over in there on the table, and you have two formats. One is you pick up the packet of CDs, CDs is how you listen to music, and then sign up to get sent as an email the song list, so you can click on the links to the video. So that's one option. Or you may want to get these music files online. That's the other option. Sign up for that. But you got to tell me what you want. Very few people have signed up, but I have a feeling many more people want to hear that music. And so it's over there. Okay, that's out of the way. I'm going to start, so I want to offer some reflections. I want to start with what I do many years, and that is sort of just take a quick look at the last year before I dive into what it means to be 70. So a couple of things I want to mention about this last year of my life. One thing that stands out is David, my son David, and I took an amazing, amazing trip to the land where our ancestors are from. My grandparents and his great-grandparents. We went to Belarus in Eastern Europe and Ukraine. And some of you have heard a lot about it, some are hearing about it for the first time. It was, in a certain sense, very life-changing. And in one of the ways, I think it gave me, and maybe David, though David could speak for himself, a much bigger sense than we've ever had of being connected to generations of our ancestors that have come before us, years before, hundreds of years going back into time, and also made me reflect on the fact that there will be generations to come. We have Tova here, but we don't know generations after that, and after that, and after that. But it made us sort of reflect on being part of that chain. Some of you reflect on that a lot, more than I do. But this trip really made us think about it. The second thing I'll just mention is Tova turned 1 during this year, and that's really important. Yeah, but we're talking about her, and that has been an important milestone. And Jan and I going out to visit her every week has been an important part of our lives. And then the third thing I'll mention, and it sort of overlaps what I just said, Jan and I have had some interesting projects together this year. So one of them is Tova. And the other one is working together on Nika's campaign. And Nika, raise your hand if you haven't met Nika. Our friend Nika is running for state representative because she is bringing bold leadership, bold progressive leadership to this district, and we're so excited to be part of that. And Jan and I have talked about, we really should work on something political together sometime, and well, we never figured out the right thing. We're working something very important political. We're working for Nika, so we're excited. And we're also, another project we're working on is we're planning a trip to Alaska. Alaska, and to come at the end, starting at the end of July. So we've been doing some exciting things together. So that's a few thoughts about this last year. There are many other things, but a lot of good music this last year. But now, okay, turning 70. I have my notes here just so I don't forget.
Joel,
Yes.
can be a little louder.
A little louder. Okay. I'd be happy to. Okay.
Some of us. Yeah, not all of us can hear that.
Okay. So I've been thinking a lot, and I've talked to many of you, but not all of you, about the fact that I've been thinking a lot about what it means to turn 70. And mostly what I've been thinking about is, what does it mean to become an elder? Because that's what I aspire to at this stage in my life. I want to be an elder. And I'm trying to be a good elder. And I'm trying to think of what that means. And what I've come up with is sort of the simple definition. It can mean many things, and many things in different cultures. But it means you have an opportunity to share a lot that you've gathered over the last 70 years. So you have an opportunity to share your experiences, to share your knowledge, to share the lessons you've learned from experiences, both bad and good, and to share your stories. And as people here mostly know, especially people who know me, I've been already doing that a lot. And I'm going to share some stories in a minute. But the other thing I thought of is, for those of you who are younger, and that's most of you, but not all of you here, 70, turning 70 is what you all aspire to. Even people go, oh, 70, I don't know if I want to be that. But that's what I've aspired to. I've always wanted to turn 70 and more since I was very young, because the alternative is you're dying, and some people don't have the opportunity to turn 70. And I feel very sort of fortunate that I've had that opportunity. And for those of you who are older than 70, and there are a couple of you here, I aspire to be your age and more. So I am looking forward to that. So that one of the things we all have in common, we're different in many ways. We're different ages, we're different backgrounds, some are men, some are women, and but one thing we have all in common is we want to grow older if we can, if we have that opportunity. So one thing I thought of is the fact that as you get older, you get more years worth of versions of you. So I'm 70 years old, so I carry within me the version of Joel that's 69. And most of you, but not all of you, know what that version of Joel sort of is like. And I carry within me the version of Joel that's 55. And a few of you know what that Joel was like. And it's similar to this Joel, but not the same, not the same. And we can go back further. Tony knows what the version of Joel looks like at age 21, I think it was. And so nobody else, well, there's one other person here who knows that, but except for Tony, nobody knows what Joel, and trust me, I had more hair then, and I was different in a variety of other ways too. And I carry that in me. It's not then, it's in me today, as each of you carries different versions of you around. We have one person here who knows, I think it's the 14-year-old Joel, and that's my cousin Deborah, am I right? We may have met earlier, but we first got to know each other, I think at age 14, when my grandfather died, and I went down to where she was living in Delaware. And so nobody else here knows what the 14-year-old Joel was like, right? You can take wild guesses, but she knows something about that 14-year-old Joel that you guys don't. And then there's the younger Joels that nobody here knows about except me. And my memory isn't perfect either. So I know something about those Joels. So anyway, I mean, that's another thing that we share in common. We carry the earlier versions of ourselves, but those of us who are lucky to become an elder, like turn 70, we carry more years worth of that, right? And some of you are sitting here and saying, okay, I know I'm 30 years old, I'm thinking that, and I know what my 30-year-old version, I know something about my 29-year-old, 28, counting back, but I don't know what my 31-year-old version is like, even though probably going to be sort of like the 30, but we don't know what's going to happen in the next year that will change in ways change. Because I know I'm not the same as the person I was at 31. I've changed a bit. And I don't know what my 71-year-old version of Joel, come back next year and you'll find out. But I don't know what that Joel's going to be like. And again, it'll be similar to this Joel, but maybe a little different. And the other thing we don't know is, and another thing we have in common, is we don't know the day we're going to die. So I don't know if the 71-year-old Joel will be here. I'm assuming he will. But one thing about being old is you get closer, probably, to the day you're going to die. But that's probability. People here could be very young, and tomorrow they could not be here. The odds are that they'll be here, but that's again something we all share. We don't know the day we're going to die, but we know we're here today, and we're grateful for that. So that's another thought I had. I want to share something that I hate about turning 70. I've talked about things I like, and there are a lot of things I like, more than I expected I would like. But I want to share something I hate. And now, there are a couple of things I hate, but I'm not going to talk about them. I mean, I am going to talk. I talked about one. You're closer to the day you're likely to die. That's one thing I'm not too thrilled about. Your body does things you don't like it to do and doesn't do the things it used to do, and you have aches and pains. I'm not thrilled about that. But there's another thing I want to talk about. I want to talk about the way this society puts old people in a box. Okay. And all of us have seen the way I don't want to be put in a box. And you'll notice I'm wearing a t-shirt by one of my favorite artists, Joy Ike, who a number of you have seen perform. And the title of her latest album is Bigger Than Your Box. Because she's singing about that very thing, about the boxes we are constrained in and put in, that we are far bigger than each of us, than the boxes. We are put in boxes, and everybody knows this, by our age. Okay, oh, you're old, so you must be this way. Or our ethnicity, oh, you're in that group. Well, we know that you must like this, or act like that. Or because, oh, you're a man, so you must act this way. You're a woman, so I know you probably act this way. You're straight, and so you're this way, or you're queer, and you must act this way. There's a lot of boxes I'm not mentioning. We're all put in boxes that are too small for who we really, really are, because we're so much more complex. And I hate the box about being old. So I don't want to be put in that box. I don't want any of you, but I doubt you will, or anybody else to assume, oh, he's in his 70s, therefore he acts this way, or he can't do that. Now, are there things I can't do? You bet. I'm probably not going to be an Olympic athlete. Maybe will, but I think it's unlikely. I saw a video the other day of some wonderful hip-hop dancing, and I said, wow, in my next life, I want to do that. I don't think I'm going to be doing that in this life. So I don't want to be in those boxes, and I hate the fact that people are put in boxes like that. I want to tell you some stories. Okay. I'm 7 years old. I'm 7-year-old Joel, and none of you have ever seen 7-year-old Joel, but I carry him in me. 7-year-old Joel. I have more comic books than you think exist. Now, some of you say, oh, well, Joel, he's really into music, and look at all the CDs. Oh my God, he has so much music. You haven't seen my comic book collection when I was a kid. I had so many comic books that my parents in my room built a rack from floor to ceiling on one section of the wall so I could put my comic books there. I had comic books, let me tell you. I loved comic books. And I loved Donald Duck, I loved the Walt Disney ones, but I also loved Superman and Batman and all those things. And they're still around. By the way, if I had the comic books that I had then, I would be extremely wealthy. But I threw them out at one point. Oh, my parents said, oh, come on, you don't read those anymore, just, get rid of them, and I would be extremely wealthy. But I'm not. So one, I started thinking, what if I had superpowers, I mean, Superman, he can fly, he's stronger than he's faster than a speedy locomotive. He can leap tall buildings in a single bound. What if I didn't know? What if I had superpowers and I didn't know? Wow, that would be really cool. So, what did I do? I'm 7 years old. I take a towel and I tie it around my neck. I've got my cape, and I climb up the back of a chair, sort of a chair like that or like that, big chair. Climb up to the top. I'm climbing. Okay. Maybe if I leap off that chair, I can fly. And what happens to Superman? He didn't know. It might be. And I throw myself off that chair and thump. I didn't fly. So I tried again. I'm climbing up, and I get up there. Okay, this time, I'm going to have a superpower. And I throw myself off the chair and thump. And I'm learning right, as a 7-year-old, I'm learning right now that I didn't have superpowers.
Not that one.
And save that thought. And I was sad. Okay. Now I'm 29 years old. I'm lying on my bed in the collective house that I'm living in. I think it's 5 roommates who are summer friends, people I know in Hartford, Connecticut. Less than a year ago, I separated from my first wife. Now, some of you don't know that I had a first wife. I got it right the second time, but some of us make mistakes. But some of us, some of us, not anybody here, make mistakes when we're young. And I was one of those. But we had just separated. I'm on my bed in my house. It's a Saturday night. And I'm lying there and I'm crying. And I'm sobbing. And I'm crying. And I am sobbing. And I'm sobbing because I feel all alone. And I feel all alone. It's a Saturday night. All my roommates are out. I can't think of a single friend to call. And I'm feeling really lost in the world. And really sad. Finally, one of my roommates, Martha, came home. Debbie knows what I'm talking about. Debbie Katz is here. Oh, I'm sorry. Right. Debbie Katz knows what I'm talking about. My roommate, Martha. Maybe you don't. Never mind. Debbie Katz might have known. I knew Debbie. No, you didn't know.
Maybe another life.
Okay, different. Mary Sherwin would have known if you were. Anyway, long story. So my roommate Martha came home, and I heard her in the next room, and I went in and told her how miserable I felt, and she listened to me, and she held me, and I cried. So, since that day, I have developed a superpower. And it didn't happen overnight. I didn't need a cape. But it happened gradually. And it happened not with me alone, but with help. And it grew and it grew. To this day, now, I think I have a superpower. And my superpower is getting to know each of you. And that is my superpower that I carry today and that I am grateful for. It doesn't help me fly, but frankly, I think it enriches my life far more than if I could fly, to be very honest. And so I am very grateful to be here with each and every one of you, and you're part of that story. I'm done. That's what I have to say. So now it's your turn. So you have an opportunity, each of you, an opportunity to say any of your thoughts or reflections. They can be related to anything I said, but it doesn't have to be. Just anything you feel moved to say at this time. Nobody is obligated to say anything. I will say that for young people, and I'm talking to my young people left, you're invited to say something. Obviously, you're not obligated. You don't have to do that, but you'd be welcome if you had any thoughts you wanted to say. And Ms. Afi, where's Ms. Afi? And same goes for him.